Hi guys. Well, it's been a while since I did a video. I ended up running into a little problem with my boring mill, so I've been pretty busy on them. So let's go take a look. That's the main spindle, or quill, if you want to call it a quill. It got cut in tapered holes, rough holes. Thought I could take it out with the bearings by adjusting them. That didn't turn out well. So kept digging and finally discovered that the quill here runs on brasses through the spindle. So this thing actually has two spindles. Now we got a lot of it tore apart, as you can see. So it has two spindles. There's one right in there, and that is for the forward facing head here. And then there's another spindle that runs in there, and that's separate from this one. And that one spins. Now the quill itself, let's see, spins in the inner spindle, but then it slides in and out on the inner spindle. And the inner spindle has brasses in it, similar to something like that. And that's what controls the linear motion of the quill. And there's three of them. There was one on this end, one back in there, and another one that comes in and out on the slide back in here. That one is actually stationary. It only spins in that one. These other two, these front ones, they slide through. Well, that's where the biggest problem was. They're like 6 to 8 thousandths looser than the spindle wore out, whatever you want to call it. But then the spindle, and you can see right here, somebody ran the boring and facing head into the spindle while it was spinning and wore this area down here. And we have another wore area here. Well, I found the guy who's going to grind this down, like say 24 inches or something, wherever he decides to stop, and then he'll re-chrome that and grind it back down to size. So since I had it all this far apart, decided to try to find bearings for it. Here's this is the front high precision bearing. You can find that one. There's the race for it. This is the rear spindle bearing. There's two of those. I think I finally found those. And then there's a couple of these thrust washers that go on the very back with another brass. I think we finally found those too. So we got this all tore apart, parts laying around all over. Tore the motor off, electric motor. Bearings are bad in it. There's 2 buckets full of parts there. Some of the housings that I've taken off and cleaned up. There's some of the shafts that go on the machine. Let's see. There's more bits and pieces around there. This is actually where the spindle runs on clearing the back. We got more housing pieces over here that's been cleaned and tried to straighten them up. Here's another one. Had to get a seal was shot, so I got a seal, but it won't fit, so I got to chuck this up in the lathe and bore that out a little bit. There's I think it's an armature for the motor. I think that's what they call that. End caps. bearings were bad in the electric motor. There's the motor. We're getting it cleaned up, ready for paint, prime. And since I'm doing all this, it's finally going to get his paint job. There's the old bearings out of the motor. They're pretty dry. So, we'll walk up here in front and I'll show you the inner spindle and the brasses that are in there. It's quite a job. Alright, we're up here by the lathe, where this is the inner spindle right here. And what the deal is, these are the brasses that were in there. This one's 5.5 inches long, and there was one in the back that was 4.5 inches long. Like so. So I was trying to figure out how I was going to get them out of there. So what I did is I set them up. I set the spindle up in my lathe and made a tool, and I used my lathe as a shaper. And when we cut a slot through them, and then I could just tap them right out. Anyway, this is kind of a cast bronze or something. I don't know what it is, but you can actually see there's actually porous holes in it. So what we did is we bought a piece of aluminum bronze, and that's what we're doing. We're making new brasses for it. So I'll try to keep you updated on stuff, but I don't know when I'll get this thing done. I'm getting some headway done on it now anyway. For a long time it was just, felt like he was just going backwards all the time, but I think I took a little one step forward here this week. So anyway, I guess you can keep track and see what's going on. I'll try to keep you posted. So see you later.